Hello, hello. Welcome to this week's edition of the Speak English with a British Accent podcast. How's your week been going so far? Okay, now before we get to the meat of today's episode, I just want to take a moment to thank the anonymous donor who very kindly made a donation through my PayPal for the podcast. It was amazing to wake up the other day to that notification from PayPal, and it really, really did make my day. So thank you so much. You didn't leave your name, but hopefully you'll know who you are. In fact, your timing was immaculate, as only the night before I was thinking whether to continue doing this podcast at all. So to receive this sort of validation was just incredible, and it was so impactful. Thank you so much. And if you, dear listener, feel moved to donate to the podcast, you can do so through the links in the show notes. It is all hugely appreciated, and it really helps to keep the show on the road. But anyway, thank you, but let's get on with today's show. Section 1. Pop along to learn more phrasal verbs with pop. So this section, let's explore some common phrasal verbs in British English that use the word pop. These versatile expressions are frequently used in everyday conversation to describe quick, casual actions or movements. And I love these little phrasal verbs, and I do think they will really help you sound so natural, so fluent in your speaking. So here's 10 ways you can use pop in a phrasal verb. Pop up. A new coffee shop just popped up in our neighbourhood. Pop off. I need to pop off to the shop for some milk. Pop over. Why don't you pop over for a cup of tea this afternoon? Pop back. I'll pop back home to grab my umbrella before we leave. Pop by. My sister said she might pop by later for a quick chat. Pop down. Pop down. Could you pop down to the cellar and fetch the wine? Pop on. Pop on. Just pop on your coat and we'll head out. Pop out. Pop out. I'm just going to pop out to the shop for some milk. I'm just going to pop out to the shop for some milk. Pop in. Pop in. Why don't you pop in for a cup of tea when you're passing by? Pop around. Pop around. I thought I'd pop around to see how you're doing after your operation. So I hope you recognise some of these phrasal verbs. They are so handy to know. Remember, practice makes perfect. Try incorporating them into your daily conversations, and the more you use them, the more natural they'll feel. But keep up the great work with your British accent learning journey. Section 2. A quick tip. Pronunciation of words ending in ER, OR and AR. So in this section, I've got a quick tip to help you pronounce the words ending in ER, OR and AR. In RP British English, these endings, ER, OR and AR, are typically pronounced with the schwa sound rather than a strong R sound. Now the schwa, as you probably know, is the most common vowel sound in English and is characterised by a quick, relaxed, neutral sound. So let's have a listen to some of these words with the endings ER, OR and AR. So, ER endings. Examples: teacher, teacher, writer, writer, water, water. Can you hear that R? It's not teacher, teacher, teacher. It's not a hard R, it's the schwa, The OR ending, like doctor, doctor, actor, actor, professor, professor. Again, it's the doctor, not doctor, actor, not actor, or professor, not professor. And the AR ending, so we've got regular, regular, calendar, calendar, particular, particular. All again the ending, not regular, calendar, particular, regular, calendar, particular. Let's do some example sentence to hear these words in action. So, ER endings. The teacher asked the students to read aloud. The teacher asked the students to read aloud. She is a talented writer. Please pass the water. Please pass the water. OR endings. The doctor will see you now. The doctor will see you now. He is an amazing actor. The professor gave a fascinating lecture. The professor gave a fascinating lecture. And the AR endings. She follows a regular routine. She follows a regular routine. Oh, check the calendar for dates. Check the calendar for dates. It is a very particular situation. It is a very particular situation. So while many words follow this schwa rule for the ER, OR and AR endings, some obviously do not. That's the joy of English. In particular, I just want to highlight some AR endings, and they've got a long R sound rather than the schwa. So, for example, car, C-A-R, car, bar, bar, star. So keep practicing these endings and soon they'll be second nature. Can I just take a moment to break in here? You can get access to quizzes and members-only posts when you become a member of the British Accent Bundle at learningbritishaccent.com. And of course, you also get access to both the British Accent training courses. That's the RP British Accent Pronunciation course and the Ultimate RP British Accent Learning Resource. You can get all of this for under £7 per month. So if you select the yearly membership option at only £79, you can get immediate access to all these resources. So for less than £7 per month, you can make so much improvement to your speaking voice and gain so much confidence in your fluency and conversation skills. So why not gift yourself this opportunity? Section 3. 6 alternatives to very for casual conversations. Now, the word very can be quite an uninspiring word. So I've got some alternatives you could use when you're engaged in very casual, chatty conversations. Now, these are considered quite slangy versions of the word, so care should be taken when using them. They may not be the best option if you find yourself in a deeply formal situation, but around friends or family and in social situations, they could add that little bit extra colour to your British English. So my first alternative to the word very is proper. Proper. So it starts with the pr consonant cluster, which I want you to practice. You'll find lots of material in Course 2 of the British Accent Bundle to help with that. And of course, the ending, the ER ending, is the schwa sound. Proper. Proper. So some example sentences could be, I'm proper tired after that long hike. I'm proper tired after that long hike. She's a proper genius when it comes to maths. She's a proper genius when it comes to maths. That concert was proper good. That concert was proper good. The weather was proper miserable yesterday. The weather was proper miserable yesterday. This coffee is proper strong, just how I like it. So, proper. Let's move on to alternative 2, which is the word bloody. Bloody. Now, remember that bloody is considered a mild swear word in British English, so use it cautiously, depending on your audience and the context. So, couple of examples. I'm bloody exhausted after that long day at work. I'm bloody exhausted after that long day at work. That exam was bloody difficult. That exam was bloody difficult. The traffic was bloody terrible this morning. The traffic was bloody terrible this morning. She's bloody brilliant at playing the piano. She's bloody brilliant at playing the piano. It's bloody cold outside today. It's bloody cold outside today. So, blah, again, another consonant cluster. Bloody, bloody. Alternative number 3 is the word well. Well. She's well chuffed with her new job. So she's very pleased with her new job. That party last night was well good. That party last night was well good. I'm well excited about the upcoming concert. I'm well excited about the upcoming concert. She's well smart, always top of the class. She's well smart, always top of the class. This new restaurant is well posh, isn't it? This new restaurant is well posh, isn't it? I'm well knackered after that long run. I'm well knackered after that long run. Well, well. Alternative number 4. Dead, dead. That's dead impressive. So instead of that's very impressive, that's dead impressive. I'm dead serious about this job opportunity. I'm dead serious about this job opportunity. The new restaurant in town is dead posh. The new restaurant in town is dead posh. She's dead set on moving to London next year. She's dead set on moving to London next year. That exam was dead difficult, wasn't it? That exam was dead difficult, wasn't it? He's dead clever when it comes to solving puzzles. He's dead clever when it comes to solving puzzles. So dead is the same eh sound that you hear in bed. Dead. Alternative number 5 is the word right. I'm right knackered after that long day at work. She's right chuffed with her new promotion. She's right chuffed with her new promotion. That football match was right exciting. That football match was right exciting. He's right clever. He's always coming up with brilliant ideas. He's right clever, always coming up with brilliant ideas. The weather's been right miserable lately. The weather's been right miserable lately. I'm right pleased to see you after all this time. I'm right pleased to see you after all this time. And the final alternative is pure. Pure. It's spelt P-U-R-E. Pure. I'm not really sure whether this is really a direct replacement for very, as it is really more of an intensifier for an adjective or verb, but I do think it's worth considering. So here's a few examples. That film was pure rubbish. The weather today is pure miserable. That was pure genius. That was pure genius. So I hope you've enjoyed this very quick selection of alternative words to use instead of very. Section 4. Mastering English grammar and pronunciation. Some tips and tricks for your British accent. So I remember my early days of learning French at school. So I used to mix up the word order, masculine or feminine, and the verb endings all the time. And my teacher would politely correct me with a smile. However, I cannot recall a time or a lesson that I was taught English grammar rules and conventions. It seems that my English as a second language friends are much more schooled on the subject of grammar than myself as a native speaker. Now, as you know, English is not the easiest language to learn, but I've got a few little tips that may help with your grammar and pronunciation. First, what do we mean by grammar and pronunciation? So grammar refers to the rules that tell us how to use words to create sentences that make sense. And pronunciation is all about how we say the words, the sounds, the stress, and the intonation that we use. Now, there are so many mistakes we can make in English grammar that I can't possibly cover this all in one section. So, and to be honest, you probably know more about it than I do. So I'm just going to briefly touch on 3 areas that I think are quite important to get right. The first one is the verb tense. So a common pitfall is using the wrong verb tense. English has quite a few verb tenses, and choosing the wrong one can change the meaning of your sentence. So, for instance, I am eating breakfast, the present tense, versus I ate breakfast, which was the past tense. Now, you need to pick the right verb tense to help convey when something happened accurately. Number 2, getting the word order wrong. So one mistake many English learners make is mixing up the word order. In English, it's the subject usually comes before the verb, and the object follows the verb. So, for example, in the cat chased the mouse, the cat is the subject, chased is the verb, and the mouse is the object. And if you swap the order around, it can lead to confusion. And I know so many other languages do have a completely different order of verbs and adjectives and subjects and objects that it can be quite confusing. Number 3, inconsistent pronouns. Now, pronouns are words that stand in for nouns like he, she, it, they, and using the right pronoun ensures that your sentences are clear. For example, she gave her book to him. Now, this makes sense because her and him clearly indicate who owns the book and who received it. Now, if pronouns are used incorrectly, it can make your sentence unclear or confusing, and you may be asked to repeat yourself. So let's move away from grammar because I'm not comfortable with it. Just 3 quick pronunciation tips to keep in mind as you go through your British accent journey. First of all, the key one is the sounds. A key aspect of pronunciation is the sounds that are unique to the RP British English accent. For non-native speakers, mastering these sounds can be challenging. A great way to improve is to listen to native speakers and notice how they shape the sounds with their mouths and with their tongues and with all their vocal apparatus. And this is where the British Accent Bundle comes in. It provides video guides on pronouncing each of these vowel and consonant sounds in RP British English. And trust me, getting these sounds right will make a massive difference. Number 2 is words. English pronunciation is filled with quirks, especially when it comes to stress of which syllables in a word we emphasise. English words can have the stress on different syllables within the word, and finding out where the stress lies is important for correct pronunciation. And it's also worth remembering that with some words, placing the stress on a different syllable can change the actual meaning of the word. A classic example is the word record. So record can be stressed on the first syllable, which is when it's a verb. So record a video. But if you put the stress on the second syllable, record, record. So it's a vinyl record, record. And number 3, sentences. So in addition to stressing syllables in a word, we also stress certain words within a sentence. Now we call these generally content words because they carry the most meaning. depending on what you want to emphasise, you can change the stress words in a sentence. So, for example, I did call him, emphasising that you called, versus I did call him, emphasising that it was you who called. Practising this will help you sound more natural and fluent when you're speaking. Stress in English can show up in different ways. It could be through volume. Stress syllables might be louder. Could be in pitch, a higher pitch for stress syllables. Could be in length. Stress syllables could be longer. And vowel clarity. Vowel sounds and stress syllables are more distinct. Mastering these stress patterns can change the entire meaning of a sentence, so it's definitely worth practising. So, of course, I've barely touched on the surface here of British English grammar and pronunciation, and there is so much more to explore, from subject-verb agreement to the proper use of articles. But if you're looking for help with the grammar side of British English, then I'm afraid my training probably isn't for you. However, if pronunciation and speaking skills are what you'd like to improve, then the British Accent Bundle is packed with tips to help you nail that RP British English accent. So if you haven't signed up yet, now is the perfect time. Go to learningbritishaccent.com/bundle to join for the membership. The link is also found in the show notes. Now remember, learning English, it's a journey. We need consistent practice. With consistent practice, you'll get it. Well done. Keep going. I love you all. That's it for this week. Thank you once again to my anonymous donor. I'm so happy about it. I hope you can tell. Please do take a look at the show notes for links to the website. Hope you can join me next week, and I hope you have a fabulous week in between. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now.